Good morning, dear student. This is the chapter number 7, Diversity in Living Organisms. And our today's topic is Kingdom Protista and Kingdom Fungi, which you can see on your screen. So before this, let us see what we have learned previously in this chapter. So, student, you all know about biodiversity. That means a diverse group of living organisms that exist on this planet Earth. But this diversity brings so many challenges. Challenges like to classify all the living organisms present on this earth. So, Robert Harding Whittaker was the first taxonomic scientist who classified these organisms into 5 categories, which you can see on your screen. These categories, as we have learned, are based on some criteria like cell structure. Secondly, there is body organization, mode of nutrition, mode of reproduction, and so many. But our today's focus has to be Protista and fungi. We will see these two and understand clearly. And at the end of this video lesson, you all are going to learn, identify, as well as classify organisms in the category of Protista and fungi. And most importantly, student, you all are going to learn or understand that why we are discussing about these two kingdoms, how they are playing role in our ecosystem, how they balance our nature. Let us understand. But before this, I have a very interesting question for you all. Have you ever imagined an amazing world of life within a drop of water? If your answer is no, then you should watch this video. Let us watch it together. Hope you all are able to find some organisms in the video shown, and few examples are there on your screen. All these come under the kingdom Protista. What is kingdom Protista and what are its characteristics? We will learn in the next slide. Student, all the organisms under kingdom Protista found in aquatic environment, usually found in aquatic environment, and some may be found in soil or damp areas. These organisms are unicellular, just like the organism of kingdom Monera. But here is an advancement, here is an evolution. Organisms of Monera are prokaryotic, but Protistans are eukaryotic, which means they all are going to have a distinct nucleus, which we can see in the slide. In all the organism, there is a distinct nucleus, and they have cell organelles like mitochondria, vacuole. Are you able to find these cell organelles in the slide? Here is chloroplast. Here is a vacuole, mitochondria. So these features make protist a eukaryote. Coming to the next feature, how they survive, how they obtain their food. Are they autotrophic or heterotrophic? So student, the answer lies again in this slide. If we look closely to the slide, we can see in Euglena there are some green organelles called chloroplast. We all know these helps in making food. So these organisms make their own food. So they are autotroph. So we can say Euglena is a autotrophic organism. Along with Euglena, there are some algae which is also autotrophic and falls under the kingdom Protista. Then what about Paramecium and amoeba? These two are heterotrophs. Heterotrophs, meaning they depend on other organism for food. So they basically engulf the food particle and absorb in their body and digest it and produce energy, right? So we can conclude that they can be autotrophic or heterotrophic. Okay, now you all have seen moving creatures in the video. How they are able to move? Actually, some protistans have special appendages like cilia, flagella. What are cilias? Cilia are basically small hair-like structure. You can see in the slide around the paramecium there is lots of cilia. These cilia helps in gliding. So basically paramecium can move from one place to another using this cilia inside the water. Okay, and Euglena, in case of Euglena student, it has a very long hair like structure which is called flagellum. Okay, and what about amoeba? Amoeba extend its cytoplasm which we called pseudopodia. Pseudopodia. Pseudo means false, podia means feet. So with the help of false feet, here you can see amoeba engulf its food. Last but not the least, about their cell wall. Actually, some organisms do have cell wall and some have not, right? Organisms like diatoms have cell wall which is made up of silica, and some algae cell wall is made up of cellulose, and some organisms may not have cell wall. There is one interesting feature, that is Protista are called junkyard kingdom. Junkyard kingdom. Why so? Junk means waste. Basically what happens during classification of organisms, all the organisms which are unicellular and eukaryotic, which are unicellular, eukaryotic, and show some features in common with animal, plant, or fungi, comes under the category of Protista. So they are not actually plant nor animals, neither fungi, but they do have some features in common. So basically it is called junkyard. Moving to the next kingdom, kingdom fungi. Now let us talk about the next kingdom, the kingdom fungi. Student, have you seen these images before? The molds on bread, mold on some fruits, these green modes, and yes, the brown stain on the pillow cover. This is all because of members of fungi. Who are these members? Let us see. These members are Aspergillus. Some species of Aspergillus is responsible for the brown stain on the pillow cover. Penicillium is there, agaricus, commonly called mushroom. Okay, and the mold on the bread is because of the fungi called Rhizopus. And here is another fungi called yeast, used in the baking industry, basically to rise the bread, to rise the cake. Learning more about the features of fungi. Where are they found? They are found everywhere. Fungi are all around us, and they basically grow when the conditions are damp, when it is humid condition, it is moist. Okay, if I talk about their cell body organization, so these are multicellular. Break the term. Multi means many, cellular, cell. So these are many celled, more than one cell is there in their body. But some exceptions are there. Some fungi which we have seen in the last slide, that is yeast. It is unicellular. You can see. Okay. But these yeast usually occur in colony. They form a long chain. Talking about their body organization, all these are eukaryotic. That means they have nucleus and membrane bound organelles. You already know that all the fungi are heterotrophic. Why? Because they lack chlorophyll. They are non-green structure. They can't prepare their own food. They depend on dead organisms. They basically decompose the dead organisms and obtain food from them. That is why they are called saprophyte, or we can say they show heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Interesting thing about fungi is that their cell wall is made up of chitin. It is very important. Chitin is a tough, complex carbohydrate, right? And this chitin is also present in exoskeleton of some insect. Talking about the special feature of fungi, there is one special feature about fungi is, look at the picture, student. You all have seen these colored patches on the tree, also on some rocks. These are called lichen. What is lichen? Lichen basically is the association between fungi and an algae. Here you can see in this picture fungal, hyphae and algal cells. They remain permanently in a close association and help each other. Basically what happened, fungi give shelter to algae, provide raw materials for preparing food, and in return algae prepare food and give it to fungi. So they help each other and remains in close association, and this association is called lichen. So this is it for the kingdom fungi. Now let us quickly revise what we have learned about protista and fungi. So all the unicellular eukaryotic organisms showing characteristics of plants, animals and fungi are called protists. Okay, protists have a special features, that is they have organs for locomotion which called appendages, like we have learned cilia in paramecium, a flagella in euglena. Okay, fungi on the other hand are non-green, they are eukaryotic. They obtain its food from dead host, that is they are called saprophyte. And here are some examples of fungi. But the question arises, why we are studying these organisms? How they are contributing to our mother nature? So basically, protists like diatom students, they contribute in oxygen production because they have chloroplast in them. Diatom is a type of algae. It basically produces oxygen. And some protists like slime mold and some fungi are excellent decomposers. They clean the environment by decomposing the dead organism. Also, they is an they are an integral part of food chain. They maintain the ecological balance. And one very interesting thing about fungi is that fungi are used in pharmaceutical industries as well. Fungi like penicillium is used to produce an antibiotic called penicillin. Actually, it was our first antibiotic. Please note down, first antibiotic to be produced from a fungi. This we have covered that yeast is used in baking industries and there are more importance of these fungi. Now, so far we have covered protista and fungi and we all learned lots of things about them. Now it's your homework time. So for this I have prepared a worksheet in which you can see there are three organisms. These are basically protists. You have to identify these protists and write the name of labeled part. This is your question number 1. Question number 2 is, why is Protista kingdom called junkyard kingdom? I have already told you. Moving to third question, what will happen if there were no fungi? What is the significance of fungi? Why fungi is their environment? Please think and write your answer. Last is fill in the blank section. So there are 4 fill in the blanks. Read these and complete your homework. So this is it for today's class. Thank you so much.